Hello, and welcome to Film Slam Stream's post-film conversation for Swipe. Let's try this once again, everyone. All right, good thing we're recording this, and if those who are live, we can we'll watch this. I'll make this work out. Hello, and welcome to Film Slam Stream's post-film conversation for Swipe. My name is Eric Siler, and I'm a professor of film, media arts, and communications, as well as moderator for this conversation. We are very pleased to be joined by the director of Swipe, Anthony Sneed. Anthony is a filmmaker, visual artist, and performer who works in Brooklyn, New York. Born in Jersey, he enrolled as a member of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians of Cherokee, North Carolina. In 2008, he landed a lead role in Frank Heinelaufer's film Bad Biology. In 2018, Anthony made his directorial debut with the award-winning short film Suck, in which he performed, wrote, and directed. He recently finished his new short film Swipe, which you just saw, and we are so pleased to have him joining us today. Hello, Anthony, and welcome.
Hello, how are you doing, Eric?
Oh, good. So good to have you here with us. I'm glad that we can swipe a moment of your time. Sorry for that pun there. But tell us, how did you come up with this idea? Was that you in the film that came up? I mean, was it based on something in real life?
Yeah, so when I was growing up in the 90s, adult, if you want to get any kind of adult material as a kid, obviously you can't do it until you're 18, but boys tend to find their ways to acquire it. And this is before if anybody's watching this that was born after a certain year, we had magazines, and you guys might have the internet now. So we actually, a group of my friends, we really wanted to get a Playboy magazine, and we decided that one of us was going to go into a store, and while the other ones waited outside, and we were going to grab the magazine and we were going to run. And we all ran, and that the store owner still kind of haunts me in my dreams. So.
Oh, okay. So, did you? I know that you drew straws in the film. Is that how you did it? And when you were a boy?
No, that's not how I did it when we were a boy. I think we voted my friend Jose, who was the oldest and the fastest. We just decided because we knew he wouldn't get caught, so we went with him. The reason why I went with the straws is because you immediately, when you see that, you know that there's something happening. You just don't know what it is. So immediately you're engaged. As an audience member, you want to know what's happening.
Interesting. So when in real life, when you guys stole the magazine, you went off and you looked at the magazine, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And the ending of the film, that didn't really happen, or did it happen?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I think when I think back on the moment, I think back of me being a stupid kid and stealing from a small business owner, right? And I feel bad about it. And I think this was kind of, in a weird way, without thinking about it too much, it was a way that I gave him the payback. I think I needed to be taught a lesson, and I did that. I was taught a lesson in this film because I decided 1997. So I spent, after I shot it, which took a half day, I spent about 5 months doing not only editing, but I do my own VFX work. So I had to remove all the flat screen TVs that were in the store, because flat screen TVs didn't exist in the 90s. So I was put through a lot of pain making this film. So I hope that the store owner is somewhere smiling right now.
Oh, so any chance of you going to that store and telling them about what happened and paying for that magazine?
You know what? It's funny that you say that, because I would pay for that magazine in a heartbeat. I believe I went to this was in South Jersey, in Howell, a town called Howell. And I went back there not too long ago when I drove through the strip mall, and nothing was there that was originally there. Yeah, there's no question that his store is gone. But next time I go down there, now that you say it, I would 120% go there. And I wouldn't give him the money for the magazine. I would make an amends with him, and I would say, what could I do to make it right?
Well, maybe by making a film, that might be good enough for that. And who knows, with this film, he may see it one day. You may hear from him.
I,
You never know.
I just gave away the town and everything, so he could definitely find out.
Okay, maybe he might, and this could lead
Yeah,
to another film or a documentary.
actually,
Uh,
that'd be very interesting.
as well. So you said you shot the film in a day, which is great. How did you get the cast? For these friends, did you hold auditions?
Yeah, so I just graduated from the AFI, the AFI Conservatory, the American Film Institute, its full name. And we shoot about 3 films in our first year that don't leave the school. They're just more like projects. And I shot a coming of age story with kids of the same age. And 3 out of 4 of those kids in the movie were in that original film. And I grabbed the other kid because he looked like a skater, and he was in my other friend's film. So I had worked with him before. The lead actor, Nick Hunter, I met him, I worked with him. To me, he's a star. And I don't say star in like, I say star because he has a lot of qualities that I'm interested in looking at him. I think he's super talented. And more importantly, I think he's a really good person. Like when I talk to him, he's got a good head on his shoulders, and I'm just really proud of him because he gets on TV shows and commercials, and I just love him. And he's been really excited by this project. I wouldn't be surprised if he sees this. Nick, if you see this, I'm not going to tell you I did it, but if you see it, you gotta shoot me a line. We'll talk.
Well, great. Now, well, what about the the mother? Is that someone you knew or you cast?
Yeah, actually, I worked with her name's Alina, and I worked with her on my thesis film, and she played a really tough cop in the film, and she was just amazing. I actually met her because we went through a proper casting director. So as a filmmaker, as a director, you get these little tapes back and you see people audition for you. But when I saw her, she had went above and beyond her performance. She just embodied this role. And I was so impressed with that when I was coming up with this idea, the second half, I said, oh, Alina will be perfect. And I called her up and she didn't even ask any questions. She just said yes. So that's how I got her. And lastly, Lorenzo, the store owner,
Mhm.
I had an image of what the store owner looked like in my mind. He had to could be a teddy bear, or he could be a bad guy at the same time. And Lorenzo could do that. Lorenzo is like a big sweet teddy bear, but if he wanted to be like a mean, angry, scary guy to a kid, he could be. So that's why I casted him, and he was a delight. He was delightful to work with.
Oh, great, great. You had a good ensemble there. Um, Another part of the story was the boy did not have enough money to pay for the candy, and the store owner let him get the candy. He goes ahead and steals a magazine. Why
Yeah,
did you put that little part in there? Or is that
I'm. No one's ever asked that question, Eric. I'm so happy you asked that because that that moment as a filmmaker, I could have made a little bit stronger just for me watching it. Right, I could make it a little better. I'm glad it comes across, but I put it in there because I want to show that the store owner is a good guy, so that there's a little bit more of a moral dilemma that our main character is facing. Um, so he feels a little bit more guilty about it. So it pushes it even further when he runs into him in the restaurant. But yeah, I'm glad that you noticed that because that was something that and the other reason why the kid buys candy is, and I could have done a better job at this as well, is because when you're going in a store to steal something and you don't want to seem suspicious, you might buy something cheap to, throw off the scent, if you will. So that's why I put that in there. I'm glad you talked about that because no one has asked me.
Okay, well, good, good. Well, another thing that was about the film was that none of the kids spoke, only the adults spoke, and that was done by design. Tell us why you did that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's another great question. Well, the beginning of the film, I could have had them talk, and I really didn't want performance to be in this. I wanted to be all action. Um, if you go back to Alfred Hitchcock, he talks about he used to make films in the silent era, and we're talking about there's a term called pure cinema. And if you could tell a story without words, then you could tell a story, right? And film is obviously it's a visual medium, and I think that when you're watching a character who's taking action, you're immediately connected with them. And I think where a lot of films fall short is when we have actors that aren't coming across as real. And then all the kids are good actors, by the way. And Nick can definitely pull it off. But I think it to have the little bit of dialogue might take it away. So I just decided, since we're so close to having no dialogue, let's have no dialogue. And I think it makes it a little bit stronger. And Nick's performance in the second half was awesome. I really thought his performance is good throughout, but when we're in the restaurant, it's very strong. And under the circumstances of us shooting that, I could talk about that if you like, of how we got that location, because it's pretty interesting. So Nick was shooting that and doing that performance with the burger while we were shooting that illegally. So what I mean is, we went to that location. I found the location. I loved the location. It didn't say it was, it could have been in the 70s, 80s, 90s. And we asked the people, could we film there? Could we pay you? And they said, no, we don't allow film shoots. So we're like, okay. And then we went home, and then my cinematographer, Akash, he said, I think one of us mentioned, we said, I said, I think we could just shoot it like secretly and like not tell them, which is me kind of stealing again, which I'm clearly not learning my lesson as a human being. But I did make the restitution. So we decided to do it. And we did it because we just graduated from film school. And in film school, you have to have a paper signed for everything. If you want to tie your shoes, you got to get a paper signed. It's that crazy. So we did it kind of in a response to being held back for so long at school. Anyways, we're there shooting, and our plan is we're going to shoot. We're going to have a person blocking where the camera is behind, and our producer is going to be buying burgers the entire time just to keep them busy, because there was 2 people that worked there, and it's a father-son operation. And we thought we were so smart. By the end of the day, the store owner, sitting down having his lunch, and he's there. He sees everything, and we go to offer them a couple $100 just because we said, hey, thank you. We shot. We want to give you money. And the guy said, I don't want your money. He said, you bought the most burgers in one day we've ever sold. He goes, we are happy. So it was really nice. But just to circle back to the performance, Nick, our actor, had to act under those circumstances of people walking in and us, okay, be quiet. Oh, they're not looking, like all that. So I thought he gave such a good performance, and I look forward to working with him in the future.
Oh, great. Now, yeah, I mean, it's not a large diner, and it's hard to hide a camera. And but that's good that the store that the restaurant, you know, what's good about it. Um, Now, to tell me this, at the ending of the film, I mean, during the credits, was that planned to have the store owner eating the burger and looking at the magazine, or something you just threw in afterwards?
No, good. Another good question. Like I said, I shot this in February last year, right before COVID, and I started editing it immediately, and then I stopped. COVID happened, and I kind of just, I'm sure it goes without saying, I kind of like got off track and wasn't sure what to do, and I took on other projects, and I came back to it over the summer and edited it nonstop. So during that time, I had the idea, because I was coming up with titles of the film, and one of the titles was like "Boys Will Be Boys," which is a terrible title. And when I was thinking about that, I was like, oh yeah, boys will be boys. And it gave me the idea. Oh, sorry. That's the reminder for this Q&A. My alarm went off. So it reminded me that, yeah, like boys will be boys. And I thought, oh yeah, like the store owner could do this thing. So I had the idea. We're in COVID. It's really difficult. I had to wait like a couple months because our actor Lorenzo, he's over 60 years old, and you want to make sure he's comfortable if you're going to do that. And I asked my producer, what did he think about it, Doug? And Doug, I'm putting Doug in the hot seat right now. Doug was like, I don't think you should have it. He's like, no. He's like, you end on a high note, just get out, leave the audience like on the high note. And I said, I don't know about that. I think it's interesting. I asked a couple people. Some people said yes, some people said no. And what I did was I took my own camera. It's a different camera than the one we initially shot. I grabbed Lorenzo. He has an old like Mazda Miata, and we went to a McDonald's parking lot, ordered a couple dollar burgers, and I printed out the magazine cover, and there we have it. And we had it, and I've done other film festivals, and people have responded really well to that, and they said you made the right decision. So I'm glad that people are talking about that part, because I'm not the biggest fan of post credits unless it kind of gives us a different flavor of the film that we don't expect.
Okay, well, good. I agree. It was a good decision to do that. So you're speaking about other film festival. What has the general response been to this film?
Well, I just went to a film festival in person. You guys in Cleveland are the first ones. Cleveland and Florida, sorry, are the first ones that have taken it. You guys are some of the first I submitted to. And Florida is one of the only film festivals in person and online. So I physically went there. And I have to say, I was sitting there in the theater with people watching a movie. And when the moment happened where he steals the burger, the reaction was so big amongst the audience that I kind of started crying to myself. My girlfriend was next to me, and I was like, just really quickly like wiping the tears. And I did a Q&A afterwards, and I told him, I said, the reason why I had that emotional response was three reasons. One, it was unexpected. Two, it reminded me that I hadn't been in a theater with a group of people in over a year, and I really missed that. And the third thing was that their response was the first time that people said the movie was good, right? Like, as a filmmaker or as an artist in general, you make something, you put it out to the world, you think it's good because of you made it, but is it really good? Now, getting into a film festival obviously you kind of have a hint that it might be at least somewhat decent. But it was when I had that reaction and talking to the people afterwards that it just made me, I was just overcome with gratitude and joy that it just reminded me why I do this. And I haven't felt that in a year. So the response has been amazing. It's been just, I can't believe it. So I'm just really honored to be doing this.
Yeah, I mean, I expect even more reactions like this as this film gets shown more and more. Real quick, I'm just curious. You said you shot it in February. Where did you shoot this film? And
it was in California. Wait, hold on for a second. Is my girlfriend doing the dishes annoying?
oh, that's what
Is that bad? Do you hear it? Oh, you hear it. Okay, cool. Okay.
Okay, well that's fine. I think she's doing that. She's waiting for you to help her. That's why she's making extra loud noise.
I love I'm so weird growing up when at the age when I made the movie, you couldn't get me to do one dish. Now I love doing dishes because I think, I meditate, and I get to clean a space, and especially if it's someone else's house too. So anyways, we shot it in California at like north of LA. Yeah, I forget exactly where the exact town, but it's north LA, like in the valley.
All right, cool. Well, this has been great. A really good conversation. Before I let you go, what's next for you? What can we expect to see from you in the near future?
Yeah, so I'm working on my next project. As you mentioned when you went through my bio, my family lives on the reservation. I'm Eastern Band of Cherokee, and I'm shooting a short film that's a bunch of 12 to 14, 15-year-old kids, skateboarding kids on the reservation. And I don't want to talk about what it's about because I think it might give it away, but I'm super excited about it. And it's going to be, the kids will be talking in this film, put it that way. I'm doing that. And I'm in pre-production on a feature film that I got asked to direct. And I'm also writing a new thing. So I've got a lot of projects going on, and I'm just really excited and grateful to be continuing to be able to work amid all this stuff happening in the world.
Well, great. We can't wait to see your future work. Well,
Cool.
Anthony, thank you for joining us, taking time out of your schedule to give us some insight on the film Swipe. We had Anthony Sneed, the director of Swipe. Thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you, Eric.
And thank you to our audience for joining us for this important and invigorating conversation. For more information about the current 45th Cleveland International Film Festival and future film festivals, please continue to follow us on social media or visit us at clevelandfilm.org. I'm Eric Siler. Thank you.